So today's journaling prompt for me was two thoughts that I've been wrestling with, two statements. One is when I go around and judge other people, judgment of other is really judgment of self. In the sense that in a non-dual sense, we're all kind of the same thing, we're all of one. So to the extent that I judge others, I'm really judging myself in that kind of higher consciousness sense. But also, when I judge others, it's usually because there's an aspect of them that's resonating with an aspect of myself. I see something in them that I want to change or that I don't like because I feel sympathetic resonance. There's something vibrating there. The same thing is vibrating in my inner house, and it's something that I don't like, that I can't meet with love, that I can't accept, that I haven't forgiven. So really, I'm seeing in them something I'm like, it's in here too. And this happens with family a lot, but with friends too. And on the other hand, the second thought was, um, I was with an old friend and they proposed to do something, a creative project, and it didn't it didn't feel like I wanted to do that. I declined. And another friend asked me about it, and they were like, why did you not want to do it? And I was like, I just didn't want to. Just didn't feel like the right energy, the right intention, the right direction. And I just realized there's tremendous power in this kind of very simple, like, no, this is my truth. I don't want to. This doesn't fit this idea, this person, this, whatever. This doesn't fit into the room of my life, right? Like I'm working to create a room that is, it's kind of an offering, right? Like I want to let people enter the kind of abstract room of my conversations and my energy um, that are going to be open to what I can offer, where there can be intimate and real connection. And I get to decide, I have to decide who ultimately is going to be in that room. So I have to be able to set those boundaries and say like, nope, that energy, what they're doing, this does not fit in here. I don't want it. I don't even have to explain that much. I can just have the felt experience of like, this does not work. So no. But then I have to be careful not to do make that next jump. You know, this is my room. I want, um, I kind of get to decide who gets to enter and participate in that room. Not the same thing as then pointing fingers and being like, well, and by the way, they're doing this thing again. And like, I don't like that. And they're, they have all of those ideas and those values and, this party, that like, whoa, where's the mind going and why? So I was journaling on kind of those two ideas that popped up during the week. And really the idea that Byron Katie talks about this, what's my business? What's your business? And what's God's business? What's the business of the world? And to what extent can I stay with my business and do the best that I can here, now, presence in this room, whether it's my creative room, my physical room, the room of my conversations, the room of my relationships. And that room I have responsibility for. And I have to be able to effectively set boundaries, because if I let people waltz all over that room and mess it up, that's an issue. But I don't need to step into their room and be like, you know what, you should really be different. You should do things differently. I have all the ideas on how, you can fix your life or how you can change. Like, no. Strikes me that those thoughts come up. Those thoughts of judgment come up when we really when we see or feel in the other an aspect of our own house, a room in our own house that we're avoiding, that we don't like, we're not comfortable with. And it's much easier to tell the other person, hey, why don't you fix that thing, than sit with our room in our house. We're like, oh boy, I'm doing the thing again. How do we stop that? And can we forgive it? And, what if we stayed with that discomfort, with those emotions, with that experience, with that loop in Dante's Paradise, Dante's Inferno, instead of jumping to the other person. So that was today's journaling session. I write a Substack and host occasional online sessions to get together and journal and talk. So, stop by.